Hello, my name is Jessie with Oregon Shores, and welcome to CoastWatch Mile 120. Sunset Bay is located south of the community of Charleston and north of Cape Arago in Coos County. Sandstone and shale that form cliffs and islands between Sunset Bay and Cape Arago were part of an ancient delta. These beds hardened into rock that was uplifted and tilted to form the bedrock of the modern coast. South edge of Yoakum Point. This beach is beautiful.
I mean, it's a little bit discontinuous, but I consider it part of the same geological formation. And then this itself is Sunset Bay, and then basically from here on down to south of Cape Arago itself, all the way down the whole length of Seven Devils, which we'll see, is one continuous piece of rock.
Looking out to the west from the beach at Sunset Bay, you can see the north and the south sides of the bay, and we'll be exploring the tide pools within those areas. Parking at Sunset Bay allows you to get right close to the beach, and the next time you're there, see if you can spot this grand Sitka spruce tree. On the entire 360-mile length of Oregon's beaches, Oregon Parks and Recreation has placed big, bright yellow signs that assist first responders in case of an emergency. The number at Sunset Bay is 135. This number does not correspond with Highway 101 mile numbers or CoastWatch mile numbers, but is a special indicator for emergencies. Big Creek flows into the bay on the south side, and at low tide, you can see the ancient stumps of a spruce forest that was dropped and drowned 1,200 years ago during an earthquake. During low tide, you can walk out on seaweed mats. Beneath you are 6,000 feet of deposits of dirt and stone laid down by water. We came across this purple shore crab, one of the most common in Oregon tide pools. If you look closely here, you can see a sand sculpin resting there in the tide pool. Some of the most common sea stars you'll see are the ochre sea stars. And here's a great example of a healthy red one. A giant green sea anemone has made a meal of a shore crab. These carnivores also eat mussels, small fish like the sculpin we just saw, and sea urchins. Here is a beautiful example of some coralline algae covering a rock, an example of a healthy tide pool. Now we leave the south side of the bay and head over to the north side. See what we can see over there. Sunset Bay is known for its concretions, its tectonic wonders, its sandstone cliffs. Here we are out, pretty far out in the tide pools. The tide is coming back in at this point, but we're going to see what we can find in the tide pools out here. As we take another stroll on the seaweed mats, we watch our step. There are plenty of cracks and fault lines to fall through, and also barnacles that are alive. Here we have two hermit crabs, one pulling another. Both have taken up residence in turban snail shells. And on the top right there, what looks like green crab pinchers, that is actually rockweed, one of many of the different kelp and algae that grow in the tide pools at Sunset Bay. Here is a cluster of some Leptosterias, the six-rayed sea star. You can see some regrowth on the one that's being pointed out. This giant green sea anemone is covered in bits of shell and bone, snails, limpets, and just behind it, you can see a number of black turban snails. Purple sea urchins use their 5 teeth to grind down and make themselves a home in the rock. Here is some split kelp, another seaweed of the Pacific Northwest. As we head back to the safety of the beach, we reflect on what we've learned about the animals and plants and what we can teach others on our next visit. The intertidal area is a fascinating, constantly changing environment. Check the tides before you come, watch where you walk, and spend some real time peering into the pools. Something or someone will eventually come into sight. Sunset Bay Beach is also alive with washed up bull kelp, magnetic sand, mole crabs, and so much more. Have fun, be safe, and thank you for joining me.